I had Ohio State number one. So I know that, at least somebody else is out there not agreeing with that. I've got the Buckeyes as my number one. And I think that, I'm looking at Alabama and I'm saying, man, we are doing a lot of just like, yeah, it's going to be great with Bryce Young and with an offensive line and a wide receiver position and a running back room that's deep, but just seems to be a lot of just, passing things along without putting under a little bit more scrutiny. I think Ohio State's offense is more proven. I think that Clemson gets, concerns about the offensive line. Running backs, you got a lot of good options, but they still got to go out there and prove themselves. And then Oklahoma is probably intriguing, but to me, the Buckeyes seem to have the least amount of questions, and they seem to have the offense that I consider the best offense in the country if we're power ranking it going into next season. That's why I've got the Buckeyes number one.
Who's playing the quarterback? Just curious.
CJ Stroud, I would assume.
Okay. So you're assuming that. You don't know that for sure.
No, I'm saying that whoever wins it, it's going to be fine.
Right. We'll just be fine. All right. Because I do that's where I would have Oklahoma number one, because you guys know the priority that I would put on quarterback returning, somebody we know for certain what we're going to get. And even though we've seen some good out of DJ Uiagalelei, we've seen some good out of Bryce Young in a very, very slim window. We've seen some good out of three Ohio State quarterbacks in a very, very slim window. JT Daniels, we saw 4 games, pretty good. But Spencer Rattler is the most experienced, most proven of these. And I do think you have to consider schedule too. Oklahoma's schedule is by far the most manageable. And this is where it gets interesting with preseason top 25s. Like, is this projecting?
How do you do it?
Right. Are you projecting who you think will be number one at the end? Are you saying, hey, if they face right now? It's a confusing exercise sometimes. But I do think, all things considered, and you guys know on here, I've been bullish on Oklahoma, saying I think they're going to get their first playoff win. I think they've got their best chance. Their defense is getting better. The amount of returning starters on both sides of the ball, I think Oklahoma makes a really firm case for that preseason number one. But kind of to what we're all talking about, the top 4, top 5, I mean, you could make a really good case for any one of them, and I wouldn't push back too much on any one of them.
Danny, I think you really nailed it there. I mean, if you want to get all hot takey, you can, but to me, there's 5 teams that pretty clearly stand out above the rest. I guess the only pushback I would have on this is I'm not so sure that Rattler is that much more proven than DJ. I know that maybe, but like he had some pretty shaky games against some teams that were, quite frankly, bad teams. DJ had some really nice moments against big time teams, as did Rattler. DJ has a better pedigree. He was a better player as a recruit. There's no doubt he would have been ranked higher than him if they were in the same recruiting class. Same for CJ, by the way, at Ohio State. Like, Rattler would not have been rated higher than those guys, I don't think, if they had been in the same class. And so I do default a little bit to the recruiting rankings when we have guys that don't have that much experience, but I don't have any problem with any of this.